Hello and welcome to Footy Judgment. Listen, people are upset that I said Liverpool are scary without Mohamed Salah, but that's real. 4-0 away against Bournemouth isn't easy without your talisman, without Mohamed Salah. Sends a clear message to Manchester City and Arsenal that Liverpool are there to win the league. They aren't playing around, they are absolutely there to win the league. Darwin Nunez playing well. Jota back to being the superstar, scoring goals. Jota has been absolutely phenomenal. Van Dijk is back to his best. Konate performing. There is no negatives from this game, if I'm not mistaken, to be honest, for Liverpool. Away at Bournemouth, scoring 4 goals in one half. Cody Gakpo coming in, assisting a goal. Curtis Jones stepping up. McAllister playing so calm. And we're here to talk about this game, and we're here to ask the tough questions, right? Will Liverpool win the league? Can they actually take Man City all the way to the title race at the end of the race, people? So hit that like button, people, if you just joined. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. I'm here with Rack, Jersey, and of course, Darwin Sexual. Mr. Mike Das is here to tell us Gomez as well, playing well. But yes, people, hit that like button. Let me know your thoughts in the chat as well. And let me start with Jersey here. This game without Mohamed Salah, what did it prove?
I guess it just proved that the front three is a bit better than everyone else thought, because everyone thought no one in the team can play right wing. I still don't think we have a out and out right winger other than Mo, but I think Diaz the last couple of games has proved he can play there. And I think this game just shows that even if, let's say, for the run through, if Mo gets in another injury or something like that, nothing really changes. We still look the same.
Are you saying Mohamed Salah isn't making a difference?
No, of course, Salah's making a huge difference. But what I'm saying is that.
So what are you saying then?
Completely forgot what I was saying. So.
It's all right. Mike, how did you view the game today? Who was the man that stepped up today?
Listen, I think that there were a few. I think that this was, again, another game of two halves, a pattern that I don't like, but a pattern that has not yielded any losses yet. I'm not the biggest fan of this repeated error by Klopp. Well, not even by Klopp, but by the whole team, of just poor first half, sensational second half. You know what I mean? I would like to see some more congruity between the first and second half. I think that we made all the right adjustments, but in terms of specific players, I think you have to shout out Alexis McAllister, pretty much shutting up everyone who's, perpetuating this ridiculous agenda that we need to buy a 6. I mean, I don't think that for a solid month and a half to 2 months, I haven't believed that we needed a 6. I think if anything, it needed to be a center back just to make up for Matip in terms of depth. But also, Curtis Jones was great, especially on the first goal, to collect the ball like that off of his chest, play it right to Jota in space, and then bang, bang, Jota to Nunez. I think Darwin was sensational. I think Jota, 2 shots, 2 goals. If we can get that, if we can get this version of Jota and we can keep him healthy, like I've been trying to say over the past couple of weeks, if the rest of the front 6 start to produce, then we can start having this conversation of contending for the league, challenging Man City. But this is one game, right? So I'm not going to get too carried away. But and then another shout out has to go to Bradley. I mean, as a defender, if you don't say someone's name throughout 90 minutes, that usually means that they've done a spectacular job. And I think that he did a great job on the right side, and Konate as well. But McAllister really has to be the big one. He was excellent in the 6, and just proving that we don't need a 6, because if Endo comes back and he plays the way that he was playing, our DM is fine. And again, we have the best defense in the league. So, I'm not going to hear this narrative of go out there and get me Paulinho. Just absolutely not. No way.
Really?
Yeah. No way. I don't think that right now a 6 is the make or break. I think that you need to look at the depth in center back. We have 5 center backs. We have one who's injury prone. We don't you need more depth in the back line, more than we need depth in midfield. And if anything, I think that that's the most solid argument. And also, for the market wise, like we're going to get much better value out of a young center back than an aging Paulinho for the price that he's going to cost us. I don't think it's worth it. And I think that we can make do. And I think that the fact that we've conceded 18 goals in 21 games and we're on pace to concede less than 38, which means less than a goal per game, just proves we don't need a DM.
Rag, do you agree this game? Because Mike started his talk with saying he doesn't like the games of two halves. Do you agree with that at all? That this game was game of two halves. He didn't like the first half, and he wants to see more consistency.
We didn't play well in the first half, but I still think we kind of controlled it pretty much. Like I don't think I wasn't uncomfortable with the first half performance because we were doing the right things in terms of keeping. Apart from the first 10 minutes or so when they kind of put us under a bit of pressure, I think we kept possession better than they did. I think we played the ball around better than they did. I think we were looking for openings. It was a bit disjointed. But over time, as they tired and as we were holding possession, we probably weren't going to be as tired. I thought eventually our quality would tell. And obviously, until you get the first goal, you're always a little bit worried. You have that in the back of your mind. But I think in the second half, I was confident that we would have done enough to get the goal. And as it turned out, we ended up getting 4. So, I wasn't too concerned at the end of the first half. And I thought it was an okay performance.
Listen, I'm looking at this performance and I'm saying at the end, result is what matters. Away at Bournemouth. I disagree with you that you controlled the first half. I didn't think you controlled the first half at all, in my opinion. This is just what I thought. I thought first half was a 50-50 half. Both teams looked very energetic, looked up for it. I thought at the end, Liverpool quality showed exactly why they have players like Jota, even Curtis Jones proving people wrong. I'm loving it because I actually like Curtis Jones. Harvey Elliott looked all right. Virgil van Dijk and Gomez look very good. Konate as well at the end. You saw that clutch tackle at the end. I think this Liverpool team now...
Konate was excellent. Konate
was
excellent.
absolutely ridiculous.
He's been superb the whole season.
No, he isn't the greatest on the ball sometimes, but you don't need that from him. You need him to pass to the next guy.
Today,
you know what I mean?
Today he was good. Today he was good though on the ball. He was good.
All right.
Yeah, he was.
His long range passing was good. His hard low struck passes into midfield were good. He didn't give the ball possession away very much at all. So no, I thought he had a really good game.
Why do you think you need a centre back then? Why do Liverpool think that they need? But you have
sometimes it's good to have depth.
Yeah, but okay, so
you don't need it then. You don't need a centre back.
Well, sorry. Go ahead.
Matip is out. Matip is out for the season, right? Is that correct? That's what I thought.
Yes,
so essentially, we're then relying on Gomez as a third. Yeah, Gomez as the third choice, who's injury prone. And look, I used to be one of Joe Gomez's biggest proponents. I really don't know about his quality. I think he loses concentration a little bit too frequently nowadays, and so I'm not a believer in Joe Gomez in the long term as a centre back. And Quanta's young, so I don't think it would look. There've been several times in the past, and I'm not a big person to scream and cry about transfers. Mo, and I've been on the terrace for a long time. I've never said we need someone. But we're in an opportunity now. We're in a title race, and I think whether that's in defence or midfield or in attack or wherever, if we can find a player who's going to significantly improve us and we can get the value, then I think it's definitely worth considering. Whether that's possible or not, I don't know. But there's quite in the past. Sometimes when we've had this opportunity, we haven't strengthened. And with things like COVID and that kind of stuff, I think those kind of excuses have been legitimate. I don't think they're legitimate at this stage. If we can find someone who's going to make a difference to us, we should go for them.
Well, I mean, if you look at it like this...
nobody's going to make a difference. Who is going to make a difference?
Well,
you want depth.
I don't know.
Nobody's going to make a difference now.
Well, I don't know about that. I think that having a quality player to be able to come in Europa League, FA Cup, obviously, I'm not going to say Carabao Cup because we have a semifinal then the final, and for, certain Premier League games for the rest of the season is a valuable asset. I'm not saying that we
Yeah.
even need to buy anybody, but if we were going to buy someone, the
Yes.
one that makes the most sense is a center half. Why? Because Tsimikas broke his collarbone, so he's probably going to be out until at least March. He broke that at the end of December. And which I've broken my collarbone. I know what that's like. You've got Andy Robertson coming back off of a shoulder injury, which still means you really only have one left back. And Joe Gomez, let's be honest, he's been looking very good at either side. In the center is where my biggest concern is with him. I think he's a better fullback than he is a center back, which
Who?
again would lead me Gomez. I think Gomez plays better as a fullback,
All
either on
right.
the right or on the left, because he likes to go forward, and I don't want that if I'm playing a back three, I don't want my left-sided center back to be bombing forward. I want my left back
So
to
you
be bombing
think
forward.
Robertson is gonna hold bench when he comes back?
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Robertson will go back to playing left back.
And
And
what
Joe
happened to
Gomez. Well,
Hold on.
well,
You really think that with this Gomez performance, Robertson is gonna come back and keep the position?
I know Klopp.
Sorry, like Robertson is gonna come back and start right away.
Well, I mean, he's coming off of a extended shoulder injury, so he's obviously not going to immediately go in for 90 minutes. But once he's back up and he's fit, I know I know my manager. Like I know what Klopp likes to do, and Robertson is a part of that, whether Robertson's in good form or poor form. I would like to see Joe Gomez continue this run. I also thought that Tsimikas was playing brilliantly on the left-handed side. I think that Tsimikas, before the injury, was playing better than Robertson was prior to Robertson's injury. But I'm just trying to, view it realistically from how Klopp sets up the team. And anyway, suffice to say, if we were going to go and spend any money on anyone, the only thing that makes sense is a center half. And there are good young center halves that we can go out and buy, as opposed to there are not good young being the imperative word, sixes that we can go out to buy. And then, yeah, I mean, I'm not going to make an argument for buying a forward because that's just never going to happen. Too
Do
much
you
depth
agree,
in there.
Jersey? Do you agree that you need, guys, before the 220 people here, get the likes up a little bit. Let's hit the 100 mark, guys. Hit that like button underneath your live chat, please. And Ozan Kabak is sending the first super chat. Thank you for supporting the channel, saying, yo, Judge Mo, talk about Darwin Nunez. We'll talk about Darwin Nunez
We will.
because I got
We will.
called out on the football terrace, right? I got called out on the football terrace. And I'm gonna stick by my opinion, but I'm gonna say what I say. But Jersey, do you agree you need a center back, not a forward? If you're going out, and first of all, let me ask you, do you believe you need a player this January transfer window to win the league? And if you need a player, where do you think you need that player?
I agree completely about the defender because I think CDM is fine. And the huge problem with January is, one, there's not a lot of options out there. And two, if you're going to get someone, you're going to have to pay even more money. And I'd rather wait to the summer where you can then bargain for a bit more cheaper and not have to spend too much money. And I think the CDM thing at the moment is fine. I think the thing with Endo was everyone was really, really surprised by how Endo is how he is now. And I think more the CDM is for the future. So I don't think that needs to be, but I think it's the defense because
But
I
hold
don't
on,
see
but the
Joe
defense.
Gomez as center back.
I'm not getting your logic, people. You have Konza and you have Gomez who's performing well. You need a center back that is gonna be a bench player. Is that what it is?
Well, I wouldn't go far to say that. The problem is that you have to look at the history, right? Joe Gomez, injury prone. Konate, injury prone. Kwanzaa, too young, right? So boom, that's already three problems that I have. And I don't have Matip. If we had Matip, obviously this would be completely different, but I don't think he's going to play another game in a Liverpool jersey again. He tore his ACL. That's a serious injury and his contract is running out, right? So if you're going to bring in someone, we were already looking at center backs in the summer. You have a few options that you could pay this summer. You have one that has a release clause that did increase by 20 million, and I wanted him in July, but that's a conversation for a different day. It's just for this season. Obviously, if we were going to go out and to buy anyone, I want us to buy someone who is going to be a part of our future, not just, a depth piece, right? But for right now, that's what we need. And if he can come in and he can do a job and he can play as a good center back and a back three while the fullbacks are pushing up the field, then I'm happy with it. And I think that there's enough quality center backs out there where we can make a move for, a very realistic price because one of them has a release clause.
Do you agree that with this rack that you need a center back? You don't need a midfielder or a forward.
I mean, look, I think we were left a little bit short in defensive midfield in the summer because we clearly went for Caicedo. So that was obviously seen as an area of need. We Endo coming in at the start, obviously a lot of people weren't too enthused about his performances, but give him credit, he's come in and eventually he turned it around. And his last few games before going to the Asia Cup, he was exceptional. So, no complaints there. I still question whether he's going to be top level because I haven't seen it, and until we see it consistently in the biggest, against the best teams in the world and in the biggest tournament in the world, we're not going to have an answer for that. But I'm going to praise him because to come in, does take time to adapt to the Liverpool system, as we saw with Fabinho, as we saw with numerous players who come to Liverpool. I don't know precisely, or I don't have an opinion precisely where we should be strengthening because we look pretty good right now. But I remember the season we brought in Diaz. It didn't really look like we were going toe to toe for the title with Man City that year, and it didn't look like we were going to bring anybody in. And then Spurs suddenly stuck their neck out and went for Diaz. And as soon as that happened, because we were looking at him in the summer, we acted. So maybe that might play into it. It may be someone who we're targeting for the summer who suddenly becomes available because another party is interested or the selling party, needs funds. There are a lot of clubs around Europe who are in serious financial distress at the moment, and it seems a little bit sad to take advantage of that. But again, if opportunity arises, I think we should do it. And then we are also in a really, really strong position. If we sign a player and you don't know this until it happens, right? We can't tell the future. But if there's a player out there who we think can make a material difference to this team, we should go and get them because we're on the verge of having a very good season, an exceptional season. If we win the Premier League, hey, that's an exceptional season because I don't think any Liverpool fan really realistically thought after last season we were going to be in the shout to win the league this season. I didn't.
So when do you think you should start saying that you should win the league?
When?
When do Liverpool fans say that?
6 weeks from now.
What do you mean?
We have so if you look at our schedule. Oh, my bad.
No, it's not about when we should win the league. I don't think anyone after the performances last season, we had a pretty abysmal season last season.
Yes.
I don't think after seeing those performances, anyone thought realistically we were going to win the league because
100%.
we strengthened in a couple of areas. We brought in McAllister and we brought in Szoboszlai, but we failed to bring in the DM that the top class DM who we thought went for, and we went for essentially what most people consider to be a backup. And like I said, maybe that backup is going to turn out to be more than a backup, and I really, really hope that Endo becomes that. But I don't think anybody had these expectations. We may win the Carabao Cup, and we're probably favourites also for the Europa League. So if we, that would be a crazy season if we won the Europa League, the Carabao Cup, and won the league. Look, let's see what happens. But if we have an opportunity to go for these top titles, and a player comes up who we think can make a material difference that we can get, I think we should try to do it this time because we haven't in the past. And I haven't been that critical about it in the past, but other people have. And it's we'll see.
Before going to speak about the individual, before going to speak about the title race and win Liverpool, I wanted Mike to talk to me about Darwin today.
Ooh, okay.
Talk to me about Darwin today. Is he good enough to win you the league? Is he the starter that you want?
Listen, the first thing I'll start by saying is his work off the ball today was excellent. His defensive work rate was fantastic. What he was doing in terms of tracking back, what he was doing in terms of pressing, what he was doing in terms of tackling in midfield, it was all superb. His two finishes were excellent. Especially the second one, but obviously you have to give credit to Joe Gomez. But the thing that I've always said about Darwin is I'm not going to argue his lack of clinical finishing, right? Like his conversion rate is awful, but he gets all of these opportunities, right? And if The thing is, he doesn't have to become world class. He just needs to get 5 to 10% better. Like, we're talking about an incremental improvement, something that's not mind blowing. 5%. That's it, right? And all of the sudden, we score one more goal here, one more goal there, one more goal here, and now all of a sudden the output from the front six is raising, because the biggest argument has been, Mo Salah being 14 goals, with the next guy before this game being at 5, and Diogo Jota and Darwin at 5, but Jota played 4 less games. The fact of the matter is, Darwin is exceptional potential, but he just lacks that clinical finish. But if he can somehow gain the composure, which I think is something that's teachable, right? Everything else is intangible qualities that isn't really teachable. You can't teach a guy pace. You can't teach a guy instinct. You can't teach a guy, instinctual positioning. I guess I just repeated myself. But what you can teach him is composure, right? And the more of these goals that he scores, the more composed he will be. And what I saw today were 2 composed finishes. I'm not going to go over the moon and say that, oh my God, it's Darwin season, it's Darwin time. But if he can do this on a consistent basis, we're looking at a completely different team. Because my biggest thing this season has just been, we've dropped points for silly reasons. Like, we've dropped 8 points because we've had people miss goals in front. And it's not just Darwin, it's also Gravenberch against Brighton. So if Darwin can just finish 5% more, 10% more, all of a sudden we're in a completely different conversation. And then at that point, it's like, I don't even know if we need a defender, because we've only conceded 18. We're 19 points off of where we were last season with 17 games to go, which is already a monumental achievement in terms of a season-to-season progression. And I just need a few more goals out of this guy. That's it. I just need 5%. And all of a sudden, the whole tone will change. But he was excellent today, not just in terms of finishing, but in terms of everything off the
Do you
ball.
think the season relies on him scoring?
No, I think it relies on all of the front. That's why at the beginning I said that if Jota can stay healthy and he can keep getting into these positions, because he's a clinical finisher. I'm like, he's probably, next to Mo Salah, he's our best finisher on the team. And if he can stay healthy and get into these positions, he will increase output. And that's all we need. We just need to increase our finishing by 5 to 10%. We already create the most chances in the league, but we miss the most. So what does that tell you? I just need to score a little bit more of them. And all of a sudden, these games won't be games anymore, because a 2-1 will be 3-1, and then the game's gone, and everyone knows that just completely changes the mentality of the players on the field.
Yeah.
So I think it's an incremental thing, and I like what I saw today. And if he can continue to do this, then everyone's tone is going to change. But I've always loved the guy, and I'll back him forever. So
I'm gonna ask the guys another question.
What was it? What else?
Chats for Mike, and
Yeah,
then I'm gonna let you talk, Rack. Is that okay?
Okay, go on, go.
Donna Collin, thank you for supporting the channel. I used to say I'll never fall in love until I found Mike Das. I said I'd never fall unless it's him I fall into. The song is in my head. Thank you, Donna. Look at him blushing. Look at him blushing. Thank you so much. And she comes back and says, Mr. Das, I'll get you a jersey signed by Darwin. Oh, thank you, Donna, for that. Appreciate it. He will absolutely appreciate that. And the football club is sent a super chat and say, we'll believe when it's mathematically done. I don't like that tone, but whatever. You are a Liverpool fan. You believe whatever you believe. But we'll talk about it. But Rack, you were going to say something. Thank you, Donna. Thank you, Rack. Thank you, football club. Thank you, Ozan, for supporting the channel.
Someone just wrote Donna catfish. Sorry. I just want to say that what Mike said is similar to what Mike said, in the sense that Darwin has had, if you want to call it luck, if you want to call it a lack of skill, or whatever you want to call it, but whatever you say, is Darwin has missed an abnormal number of chances. If you have some kind of reversion to the mean, so he becomes closer to what an average striker would score in those situations, then you will see essentially an uptick, because right now he's scoring a rate below what an average striker would be doing, how they would be doing. So any kind of reversion to the mean will mean he will score more goals based on the number of chances he's getting. So he needs to get in those chances, get in those positions, and hopefully, if there is a reversion to the mean, that will mean he could end the season on something like 20 goals. If he ends the season on 20 goals and the other guys chip in with what they're doing and Mo does what he does, we'll be in the title race at the end of the season. and Darwin could be the critical factor. He could be the difference. So if he does what Mike's suggesting and what's not impossible, I think we're in a title race, and I think we'll be there right at the end. If we don't, and this is why I guess to some extent why I've been a little bit critical of Darwin in the past. We spent a lot of money on him, and we spent a lot of money on him because we needed him to score goals. And if he scores goals, we'll be in a title race. If he doesn't score that number of goals, if he chips in with another 5 goals between now and the end of the season, it's only 5 goals, but I think those 5 goals may make a difference.
Is that enough? What? Is that enough?
20 goals in the season?
No. Forget all comps. See these people.
I'm talking about 20. He's got 10 Premier League. He's got 10 Premier League goals.
7,
I believe.
No.
7.
That's what people misunderstand. He doesn't have that. People say,
okay.
And I'm not doubting him, right? But do you believe, right?
You are doubting him.
I am. A little bit. Do you guys think that Darwin Nunez, 7 goals at the moment, is good enough? Or let me continue the sentence. Let me continue the sentence. Or it's good enough for what you guys expected from him based on the performances last year. See, there's a big difference. Massive difference.
Okay, no, but you know what? I don't care.
Why you don't care? How is that you don't care?
Because no, in the context of this season, if he gets another 10 goals between now and the end of the season, that's what I care about. That's my immediate target for him. Because again, right now we're top of the league. Right now we're 5 points clear. I need him to score another 10 goals, and Mo will come back and he will get what he gets, and the other guys will chip in. Jota will get what he gets. If those guys all perform, and Darwin gets another 10 goals between now and the end of the season, I think we're right there for winning the league. So in that sense, I don't care what that. If we win the league this season, I'm going to postpone the Darwin conversation until next season.
Yes,
because we can talk about next season. My focus this season is on winning the league.
100%.
Well, it's just, listen, if you want to view it from like a bird's eye view, right? Darwin's 24 years old, right? So listen, right now he's not producing what he should be producing, but we only need an incremental uptick right now. And I believe in his potential in terms of the future seasons. But right here today, it's 5 or 10%. The past is the past. The missed chances are the missed chances. We just need a 5 or 10% uptick, which I don't believe is impossible. I think that any player of his quality, of his natural ability, is capable of. And the one word is just composure. And today he was composed. And if he can continue to do that, he's going to be my guy.
He was very composed in the finish. To be honest, that the first goal he scored, the finish, was like, yeah, this is what I'm expecting for a top forward. No touch. First touch, you know what? You didn't need to take a touch. First touch, far post. The goalie had no chance. Bang. That's what, and also the movement, though. So people think I have an agenda. The movement from him to cut inside the defender to wait for the pass is top notch. That's what I'm expecting from a Liverpool forward, though. Yeah. But are we seeing this every game? That's what I'm questioning. It's not that. But that's my point. People think I have an agenda against him. Well, me not liking the way I watch him, the way he drives with the ball, is something that it's my, like a lot of Chelsea fans don't like Salah aesthetically, right? A lot of people say Haaland aesthetically doesn't look good. A lot of people say that. But does he score goals? To be honest, my point with Darwin Nunez is that as of now, he started 13 games. If you are the forward of the club that is top in the league, you should score more. Rack last time said that Darwin misses a lot of chances. Just imagine if Darwin scores the chances. I wouldn't be sitting here and talking about this.
You'd be saying he's the best striker in the league.
That's it. Simple as the Haaland doesn't look aesthetically great. He's not fantastic. He's not Kevin De Bruyne. He's not even Salah, right? He's not even close to Salah on the ball. But because Haaland scored a lot of goals, we cannot argue. But because Darwin doesn't score a lot of goals, we have to speak about the other aspects. Does he dribble? Does he do something out of the ordinary? You know what I mean? Does he do something different than other people? That's why people think that I have an agenda. I don't, right? I just think that Darwin Nunez is still at the moment, as a footballer, when I mean, It's either you be good aesthetically and you dribble and you create chances and you do this, or right, you score goals and get assists. Like, I don't care if you're on 1 foot and you get me 20 assists a season. Who cares how you play football? Who cares if you assist with your ass? That's the point. At the end, who cares, right? But at the end, people say Darwin Nunez, he scored 7 goals. I don't think for Liverpool Football Club 7 goals is good enough. However, but because other people score enough goals, it's all right. It's okay. I think it's part of a machine that is working at the moment. But you, Mike, sat here about like 3 weeks ago and you told me that you don't think your forwards are doing good enough, that your midfield is carrying you. You remember that?
Yeah, 100%. Because
that's my problem.
What I mean, if you just look at it,
you need consistency.
Well, yeah, but that's not just from him though. Yes, he is the biggest one because he misses the most chances. I will give you that.
Exactly. Thank you. That's it.
He is on the front page, but
yes, that's the point. People just don't
everyone else.
This. But he is on the front page because he misses the most chances. Does that make sense to you? It's just logic, people. People just don't understand the logic, right? It's just logic. If Mohamed Salah tomorrow doesn't perform for Liverpool at all, and Liverpool don't score goals, who's the first one on the front pages that we will be sitting here talking about? We aren't going to be talking about Darwin Nunez, I promise you this. We aren't be talking about Cody Gakpo. We'll be talking about the superstar.
Yeah,
simple. But because I was on the terrace and people said, "No, you have an agenda." I'm like, I don't. You're just sensitive. Some fans are just sensitive people. They are. Do I like the player Darwin Nunez? I don't. Do I like Mohamed Salah more? Yes. Do I love Diego Jota watching him? Absolutely. The guy is so smooth, right, with the ball. Diego Jota.
The second finish.
It's very smooth, bro. It's
the second finish. Oh my God.
Right? But that's the point. It's just simple, right? But I want to go back to one player before we move on to the title race. Guys, over 300 of you here. So hit that like button for us because I don't know how many likes are we on. We are on 137 likes. So hit that like button, people. Donna came back and said, "Mr. Das, you have a cute, adorable dog, I must say." Thank you, Donna,
for
supporting the channel. Guys, support the channel, like the video, share it. Virgil van Dijk, been called Virgil van Disney, Virgil van Maguire last year. People remember that shit, right? I kept saying Virgil van Dijk at his best, and I'm never changing what I say, is the best defender I've watched in the Premier League. Best. To be honest, the way he reads the game. Yes, Konate looked good today. But Virgil van Dijk, you guys, the way he reads the game is nuts. The way he is there is one ball on the right side where he cut across the whole pitch to get in front of Solanke. Right? And Solanke was pressing him. He turned, created the angle for the pass, and played a long ball that landed on Jota's head. He didn't clear it. Like in the beginning of the season, he cleared it, but he's getting better. People don't understand. If this guy gets to his best, it's long for a lot of teams. There is a reason today Bournemouth looked all right, but they didn't have dangerous chances. Liverpool's defense prevent the chance from happening. Virgil van Dijk makes one of the biggest difference. It's nuts. And I don't know what you guys think about that. Like, and 32 years old or not, if he performs like this towards the end of the season, give me a break. Like, this is going to be something that we'll be talking about as something, a difference maker, isn't he?
Yeah.
Jersey, let me let Jersey. Virgil van Dijk.
Virgil, as you said, I think is the best defender in the league when he is at his best. But I do think that the ACL injury really did impact him. And then the fact that straight after his ACL injury, he comes into a season where we nearly win the quadruple and he does not have any rest whatsoever. Going into a season like that after destroying your ACL is not the best thing to do. And he was very good that season. Then he goes into a season where Liverpool's midfield suddenly turns into a disaster class. And he was just making a lot of mistakes. But this season, I really do think that him getting the captaincy has really changed the way he plays. He's really shown that he's a proper leader, and I really do think that Virgil is proving this season why he is one of the best centre backs in the league.
He is 100%. I don't know if Rack is here or not, or he is doing something. Rack, someone sent a super chat. So I've never been to crypto conference until Rack. I don't know. Ozan is always sending super chats. Guys, over 320 people here. So hit that like button. Donna is coming back with a super chat saying, Mr. Das, get in touch with me for Darwin jersey.
Will do. Will do. Thank you very much. I appreciate you.
Call me.
Donna Cullen, board member of Tottenham Hotspur. Yes, I will get in touch with you.
Yes. Virgil van Dijk, to be honest, Rack. Virgil van Dijk. How big of a difference maker he is for Liverpool?
The pillars of our team.
Can he win you the league, though? If Virgil van Dijk reaches that, can he win you the league?
He's just as important as
right.
Mo Salah and Alisson. He's just as important. Like the pillars of our team under Jurgen Klopp. It's been him, Alisson, Mo Salah, probably Fabinho. That spine and that goal threat. Everything was built around that. Arguably Bobby Firmino as well, because his skill set was unique. Inevitably, you're going to miss a player of that quality if he's not up to that level. He has been exceptional. I don't think he ever lost it. I think last season was a bad season for pretty much everybody. I don't think it was because the season where we went for the quadruple, which was the season immediately after the ACL injury, he was exceptional that season. He proved that he hadn't lost it. So I was pretty sure that he hadn't lost his ability. I just think we were pretty lax in midfield. We weren't giving adequate cover. Fabinho wasn't at his best. And us as a club weren't at our best. Since then, this season, Virgil has been brilliant, absolutely brilliant. He has everything you could want from a centre back. He's a great on the ball. He's got pace. He's so commanding in the air. Like, I know, look, people will make a comparison with Saliba, and Saliba is a very good young defender. But in the Premier League, just look at the number of headed goals scored in the Premier League these days compared to the start of the Premier League. Everyone will say, because in the back of their mind they'll start saying, "Oh yeah, the Premier League was much more physical and much more aerial dominance was much more important at the start of the Premier League." You have to be. There's so many more goals are scored aerially these days compared to the Premier League back when from the inception of the Premier League. You have to be exceptional in the air. Saliba is nowhere near as good as commanding as Van Dijk is in the air. He's imperious, and not just that. When you win the ball in the air, you have a second ball. But the thing is, most of the time when he wins the ball in the air, his headers are not like a random header up into the sky, so he wins the ball but doesn't. His headers are placed headers to your own player, so you retain possession or you win possession in that sense. He's the bedrock upon which our team has been built, and for me, I think it's undoubtedly he's the best Premier League defender. Like, if you look at other defenders, like one of the things that's missed with Virgil is how many different centre back partners he's had. He's had Lovren, he's had Gomez, he's had Konate, he's had Matip, and despite whoever he plays with, there's no drop in performance. He is exceptional with all of those. People will talk about Rio Ferdinand. Rio Ferdinand played in the Premier League for a long time, but he had one solid defensive partner. That was Vidic. When he played with John Terry, who was arguably his peer for England, when they played together, England was shit defensively. England were awful defensively. When he played with other defensive partners at Man United, he was poor after Vidic left. Before Vidic arrived, he wasn't great. Like, you saw him getting caught, and maybe that was because he was on the younger side. Virgil van Dijk's on a different level. No matter who he plays against, who he plays with, he's the leader. He's the bedrock, and he's the best.
Wow, yeah, that's a very, very good way of putting it, to be honest. What do you think about? That, people are gonna clip that, to be honest with you. Alexis McAllister, though, in the DM, it's a big talking point. Me and Rack were talking about that on the football terrace. What do you guys think about that DM? If Endo comes back, do you put him in the DM? Do you play McAllister there with Curtis Jones? What do you do in that situation?
I mean, I think that right now, based on form, I'm going to have to keep McAllister there for the time being. I think it's a good problem to have. I think to have two guys who are both playing in excellent form in one position, but ultimately, right now, McAllister is doing a great job. I still think his best qualities are most likely as an 8 rather than a 6, but he's doing the job. He's very composed. He's making great interceptions. He's making good tackles. He's a great deep lying playmaker. Endo is more of the tackle merchant per se, right? Like he's the actual real defensive midfielder. But I think it really just depends game between game. I also think it depends on how Soboslai comes back, what his form's looking like, because Gravenberch again today coming in, he's been quite sloppy in my opinion. I don't think he's quite there to kind of be in the starting midfielder discussion. So ultimately it's a good problem, but at the current moment, I like what I'm seeing from both of them. But ultimately, I think that perhaps the best optimized, at least experiment, would be Soboslai on the right, McAllister on the left, Endo in the 6.
But you bench Szoboszlai?
No. Soboslai on the right, McAllister on the left, and Endo in the 6.
And you would bench Curtis Jones after all of this? You're an ungrateful fan.
No. I'm just saying as an experiment, as an experiment.
You're an ungrateful fan.
No.
Mike,
See
Mike,
now,
don't let him get to you. Don't let him get to you.
I'm not because you're completely twisting my words. I said that this is a good problem to have, right? We have quality players who are putting in great performances. They're all in form in one position, right? So however you need,
training, that's what it is.
Exactly. However you need to mix and match that. But ultimately, Curtis Jones can't play every single game from here until the end of the season. It's just not possible. So if we were going to try something else, that would be what I would try. But I would also be perfectly happy with Curtis Jones and McAllister both in the 8s and Endo in the 6, because honestly, the right side of the midfield has been a problem with Soboslai, and it's been a problem with Gravenberch.
So
and I'm not going to.
Why does Szoboszlai deserve the right to come in and start right away?
I don't even think he does. I'm just viewing it more from, I know my manager, I know what he likes to do. You know what I mean? Like he's been playing him.
I want what you think. So when your manager
No,
I
don't. Personally, I don't think that Soboslai has been good enough on the right side at all this year, unless Trent isn't playing. I don't know why. That's just what I see. I'm able to diagnose the problem, but I don't get paid $15 million a year, so I can't come up with the solution on my own, right? But from what I've seen, Soboslai put in 5-6 great performances at the beginning of the season, right? And then all of a sudden, Trent starts playing again. He's just non-existent. I think it also might be because of the role, right? He's kind of in this like Hendo legs role. But I haven't seen the performances enough from Soboslai. And if anything, if I was going to make any sort of change, it would be put McAllister there, because I haven't seen him there alongside Curtis Jones. And from what I've seen so far, it's just completely inconsistent. Even Gravenberch, like he puts in one good performance, and then the next game he's incredibly sloppy on the ball, giving away every touch, heavy touch. It's I haven't seen consistency there. But no one's a villain.
Can I ask you something? I ask you something, Mike? Do you think McAllister looking all right in the DM because Trent isn't playing and Bradley, and you are defending with 4 players, including Gomez? But once Robertson comes back, Trent comes back, McAllister gets exposed. Do you believe that's a true thing?
I think that, okay, personally, I don't like the inverted midfield role. I'm not a fan of it. I think that it creates too many problems, but I'm also a person who, like, I will die on the hill that Trent is a midfielder. He's not a right back. I don't want to see him at right back. I want to see him in midfield. I would rather see a defensive right back like Bradley playing there, as someone who has shown some decent quality to go forward as well. But I would go for more cover and put Trent in the midfield than to keep Trent inverted, because when he inverts, he creates problems for everyone. It's not just McAllister, but it's also Soboslai, it's also Curtis Jones. But listen, McAllister was playing good beforehand, right? Like earlier in the season, McAllister was doing a great job in the 6, even when Trent was there. So I'm not going to say that Trent coming back is going to disrupt McAllister, but I think that the whole defense looks better when we don't invert. And that's just because I don't believe in the whole inverted right back. I would just rather see him be the 6, to be honest with you. Like if in my ideal world, I would be building up Trent to be my deep lying playmaker as the 6, kind of like the Rodri type, because his interception statistics are fantastic. His 50-50 statistics are fantastic. His transitional tackles, those stats are also fantastic. He has all of the elements. The reason why he sucks at right back is because of positional awareness in that position. But he doesn't suck at being defensive in midfield because it's transition, right? It's not really about positioning. It's just about going after the ball. So that would be my opinion in the nutshell. I don't think it disrupts anything, but it does create problems, and I'll always die on that hill. He's a midfielder for me.
Yeah. Listen, so who do you bench then? This is kind of okay.
It's a very good problem to have.
Laughing because you know where I'm going with this, right? I'm not hiding it, right? He is literally saying Trent should play in the midfield, so someone has to get dropped. Is it Trent? And can Trent play a DM by himself? Or is it Trent next to Endo? Because I'm with Mike. I actually think Trent should be a midfielder. I actually think Trent is that good. So you actually make the team around him. I might be saying, let's put him as an inverted, but have a left-sided center back like Gomez or Inacio or Basto, someone like left-sided, just to accommodate Trent. I absolutely believe that. Put Trent in the middle and have a left-sided center back. But Bradley want to play there, fine. But where does Trent fit then? And is Trent a problem?
No, Trent is a solution.
All right then.
And I think I'm happy with him playing right back in what he does, whether he becomes inverted. I'm not. Again, I'm like Mike. I'm not a massive fan of when he inverts. I think when we've been at our best, Trent has been more of a not necessarily an overlapping fullback, but attacking and taking up dangerous positions on the right hand side. And I think we have missed that to some extent when he's been inverting because he doesn't get as high up the pitch and he's not putting the same kind of balls. And obviously, as a result, you see a bit of a drop off in his assist numbers. But he's exceptional on the ball, and I think whilst he could be a very good midfielder, what he gives us from right back is absolutely unique. And if you want to be
right back, you mean as a right back?
Yeah, because if you want to be a ball dominant, attacking, possession heavy team, then you want players who are able to make the most of the ball when they have the ball. You're going to have the ball more than the opposition. So then when you have the ball, you need to make the most of those opportunities even more so. And Trent is exceptional on the ball. His passing, his vision, his crossing ability is second to none. And that's why I want him in our team. But from that right back position, he has a unique perspective on the pitch. He can see pretty much everywhere. And it's all in front of him rather than being partially behind. I'm not adverse to the option of him playing in midfield, but I would have to see it be successful. As a right back, I've seen it be successful already. And people will always go back to his defensive ability. And I'm like, okay, you may have a point about his defensive ability. That's fair enough. But if we're going to keep possession of the ball 65% of the time, I'm more concerned about what we do with the 65% of the time rather than what you do with the 35% of the time.
Fair enough, to be honest. Jersey, what do you think?
And sorry, Mark Changur, who says, Rack, are you a sensitive Liverpool fan? I'm a little bit sensitive.
Well, every fan is sensitive. I was
We're all
called
a
a
little bit
clown on
sensitive.
the football terrace. The moment I opened my mouth to just like talk to Samuel, big up Samuel, I was like, you're
Big
a
up,
clown,
Samuel.
you're a Liverpool hater. I'm like, use your brain. I sat on this channel since I started and I said I want everyone, and Man City fans made their peace with me here on the channel, right? I said I want anyone but City to win the league. And since Liverpool are the team that are closer to win the league, who do you think I want to win the league? Just use your brain. Just use your brain. Egyptian guy is there. So I wanted Arsenal or Liverpool to win the league. And I didn't want City because of dominance. Who do you think I want to win the league? Just use your brain. Use the cells. The Liverpool fans use the cells inside to know. Me criticizing Liverpool doesn't mean I hate Liverpool or I have an agenda. I'm just criticizing a point that I disagreed with. I actually and I still disagree with Rak. I actually don't agree that Liverpool controlled that first half. I saw two teams going at it, but that's for completely different, to be honest. But yes, Jersey, what are you saying about this trend problem? Thank you, Zone C Media, for the super sticker. Appreciate you. Thank you so much. Go ahead. Sorry.
No worries. Yeah, no, I think Trent. I don't think Trent's a problem. I think, as Rax, I think Trent's the solution. But I think there's. I do notice a lot of the time when Bozo's playing and Trent and Faz, they get in each other's way a lot of the time. So, I think Trent has to stay a right back because he's the best there is. But then again, I really do like the look of Bradley, and if Trent could be playing for another 10 years, so Liverpool if he wanted to. So where's Bradley going to get game time? So I could see a scenario in the future where Klopp does fully invert Trent into midfield and Bradley becomes first choice right back. But it's a really hard one because I think Trent is one of the biggest best parts about the team because he creates so much, and no, I don't think Trent's a problem.
So how do you solve it then? How do you get Trent in?
I pressed the wrong button. I was going to mute myself when you were speaking. I took my camera off. No, it's a really hard one to find a solution for it because I do think Bradley should get involved with this team, but I think the only solution is if you want both to play, you're going to have to put Trent into midfield. But I like Trent in midfield, but I also like Trent at right back, and him inverting I think is the right way of doing it. So I think the only solution is to put Trent into midfield if you want Bradley to play consistently, or you just rotate them every so often. I can't really think of a
Okay, last part is the title race, people. Where do you rank Liverpool? Mike, why?
Yes.
Why is Hussam saying, I'm calling out Hussam here, you're still underdogs?
Listen, just look at all I have to say is schedule. Just look at the schedule. Manchester City have an easier run in from this point on in the season. It's just that simple. Liverpool have to play Chelsea at home, who are always superhuman against us, no matter what form they're in. We have to go to Arsenal. We have to go to Villa. We have to host Spurs. Right? We have a lot of challenging games left. And listen, City have a game in hand. I know that the next game is against Tottenham away, I believe. That's not a guaranteed win, right? But ultimately, in my mind,
No, but they play Spurs in the cup. It's not in the league.
Apologies.
Yeah,
But
go ahead.
in my mind, what I need to see in order to gain confidence, in order to say that we are not underdogs, but we are, if not neck and neck or favorites, would be from now until that game in March. I believe we have 6 more games left in between then. We have to win all of them. I don't believe that, because if we draw one game and City win, all of a sudden that 2-point lead is gone. And now we're tied and we have to play City at home, which again is not a guaranteed win. We have a 2-point lead. We need to keep that at an absolute minimum. Hopefully between now and then, City will drop. Hopefully they'll have one draw, right? I think that that's a stretch that they will. I think that they're going to win their next 6 games. So I believe we need to win the next 6. And then if we beat City at home, my entire stance will change, because I believe then that'll be 11 games left with a 5-point lead. I think that might be enough, but we've dropped too many points in the past. And again, I need to see. I know people will say 1 loss in 31, they'll cross off the Spurs thing, but ultimately it's not about losing. It's about not drawing. We have to win, right? We've already dropped too many points to draws. We have to win every game from here on out. And so until then, I'm not going to say that we are favorites. I don't even know if we're going to be level, just based on, history and the fact that everyone seems to think that this isn't the same City, but Kevin De Bruyne is Kevin De Bruyne. You know what I mean? I'm just not going to hear it. I know history, and I'm not going to fall into that, that complete illusion that, City's past form without Kevin De Bruyne has any effect, right? Because it doesn't, because he's back. And Rodri only missed games because he was suspended, and there's no guarantee that he's going to be suspended again. So from here on out, we have to be perfect because we only technically really have a 2-point lead if you
Until the
give,
City game, you mean?
yes, 6 games. We need 6 straight wins. One of those is home to Chelsea.
And
One
then
of those
you win
is
against
away to
City and you
Arsenal.
are favorites. That's what you say.
With a 5-point lead and 11 games to go, I think
10.
that's when that's when you
10.
that's when you
10 games.
sorry, that's when you can have the conversation. You can then have the
Okay, hold
conversation
on.
about us
You can
being-
have a conversation then.
no. What I'm basically saying is that until
Like
that
Liverpool
point,
Football Club, 5 points with 10 games left against Manchester City. I actually would say,
concrete is what I'm trying to
I
say.
actually-
Concrete.
do you want me to tell you the truth?
Go for it.
This is from looking from outside. If Liverpool reach the Man City game and you win the game and you're 5 points ahead and you don't lose the game from there, you bottled it. Simple as that.
No, 100%, 100%. But
So we agree
it-
then.
At that point, we would have played Manchester City,
Arsenal away.
home and away. Arsenal home and away.
Chelsea home and away.
Who will we? I don't know what the last 10 fixtures
We have
are.
to
You
go
have
to
Man
Villa.
United.
Um,
The only
we
you
have
have
to
Man
go to
United
Villa, we have
away
to go
and
to
you have
United.
Spurs at home. You have Man United away
and
Spurs
Villa
at home.
away as well. Villa away because Villa Park is not an easy place to play. Their away form is egregious, but their home form is different. They beat Arsenal and they beat City. So I'm not chalking that up as a guaranteed 3 points. I don't even know if that's a guaranteed draw. We have a harder run in, and like that's
I could have
Go
done with City dropping points against Newcastle. To be fair, if like even if they just dropped the 2 points, that would have been a nice additional cushion. But hey,
Brighton
But
and
they
it is
Luton.
what it is.
right? But again, you won against Newcastle as well, being
Twice.
a man down. Does that make sense? Coming from behind, when everything was against you, so you're good to go. Like you actually, to be honest, I think it will come down to 2 games for Liverpool. 2 games: Arsenal game away and Man City game. That's it. These are the 2 games. Because I don't think Man United will be any at that time. Eric Ten Hag will be sacked. You'll have an interim manager, or Eric Ten Hag will be there and it will be worse than now. I think that's the whole thing. Both you play Chelsea at home. Listen, I didn't expect Liverpool to be here now without Mohamed Salah, and you guys know that Mohamed Salah went back and he's injured now for about 2 weeks.
Mo, what's the situation there? Because he's left
Hamstring injury.
He's being
so
rehabbed.
he's not. So he's coming back to Liverpool.
Yes,
And,
for rehab.
but also, are Egypt out? So,
No, we're not out. We win the last game, we qualify against Cape Verde.
Oh, okay.
So yeah,
But what's the other fixture in the group? Because he was saying that the
Cape
other
Verde.
fixture in the group also has to.
No, it
No, but
doesn't
for the
matter.
other
It
teams.
doesn't matter. We win that one, we go through. We draw that one.
fine.
So one of the other 2 they have to draw. That's I think this is what it is. There is a big chance Egypt will go through. Big chance Egypt will go through.
Fine.
Just for the people
But
that
they
are
have to make
asking.
it to the final, though. In order for Mo to go back to Egypt, it would be for the final.
We aren't making it to the final. I'm just telling you that from now. We aren't. Egypt
not-
aren't making up to the
Okay.
final. We aren't making it to the final. If it happens, it will be. And I'm gonna tell you that Mohamed Salah is gonna come back. He's gonna rehab. It's a hamstring injury. He's gonna rehab way more than what we actually think. It's gonna take him a while. Jota has to step up. Gakpo, like today, Darwin Nunez. It's not easy, right? But Mohamed Salah. But I actually think that if Liverpool goes through this period, winning the games without Mohamed Salah, I think you'll be all right. At that time, you'll be all right. I think you'll be okay. Because there's people that say that you rely so much on Mohamed Salah, it gets to the team. I promise you, players know social media. Players read social media. Players know that people say that you rely so much on Mohamed Salah. But then look at the facial expressions of Darwin Nunez when they scored today, of Jota when they scored today. The team when they scored without Mohamed Salah, it's different. Nunez today was like happy that he scored because he proved people wrong. He scored 2 goals. It's not only about tap-ins. He scored a brilliant finish. I think if Liverpool win the games without Mohamed Salah, I think it's a big deal. Bigger than what you guys think. Same as Man City winning without Kevin De Bruyne. Look at them with Kevin De Bruyne back now. I think it's a big deal. You winning 4-0 away at Bournemouth today without Mohamed Salah, psychologically, not only on you, on the players, fans, the league themselves, on Man City knowing that Liverpool will win without Mohamed Salah, I think it's a big deal. Massive deal, in my opinion. Like, because I expected you to draw, right?
Well, I didn't, but I 100% agree. I mean, if we win, fantastic. But I still think for me, it's 6 games to really solidify talking with chest, and that's just my opinion.
Yeah. Listen, last
think,
super chat before. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
So Salah, if he's back for the Arsenal game, I think that would be important potentially.
Massive
So
for you, yeah. Massive.
4th of February, that's basically 2 weeks away. When did he get injured? Yesterday, or was it a few days ago?
Last week.
Thursday.
Okay,
Friday,
so
Thursday or Friday, something like that.
so depending on the like 2-week recovery period, depending on the grade of tear,
Yeah.
assuming it's which one's the least? Is it grade 1 or grade 3? I can't remember. Grade 1, I think, is the least bad. So 2 weeks should hopefully be enough. Obviously, he'll miss a little bit of football, but that would be
depends,
helpful.
yes. Yeah, it depends. But we'll see how
Because
it
again, if we go into that game with Endo back, with Mo back, with a full strength team, Thiago is in training. So one thing that we've been really good at this season is winning games off the bench. Players coming on, scoring goals, having an impact. That will give us a really, really strong, not just first 11, but a strong team to go into the squad to go into the Arsenal game with, because it may come down to a fact that it may be 0-0 going into the last 15-20 minutes. But then if you can bring on whether it be Mo coming back from injury or Darwin or Gakpo or something like that. Gakpo, I think, did really well. That pass in for Jota's second goal was perfectly weighted. I think he's underrated. I think he's great.
He's a very good player.
So,
I always liked him.
All these players coming off the bench and having impact, with the first 11 having impact, that could be massive for us.
Yeah, 100%. Donna saying, Mr. Das, before you go, just give me a blush smile that you gave that with the song. It's hard stopping one for me.
You're welcome. You're welcome for all these super chats, Mel. You're welcome.
It's coming back and saying, Mr. Das, I want you to wear only smile and nothing.
There you go. There you
Oh
go.
my God.
There you go.
Fantastic.
Also, but I just wanted to say,
I think let's just go, Mo. Let's just leave Mike on the screen by himself.
but just one very quick thing to what Rack just said. I believe now after today we have 31 GA off the bench, and that compared to the second. Well, the last time I checked it was 30 GA off the bench, and the second team had 16. Right. So if you're just looking based off of where we're producing from, we have, I mean, technically, statistically, the best bench in the league, which ultimately is what wins you things like titles. So I will 100% agree there that the substitutions have been spot on as compared to last year, where every single week we had a therapy session on what is Klopp doing with the substitutions, and now we're producing the most goals and assists off the bench, which is just fantastic. And if we can continue to do that, I mean, the sky's the limit. Quadruple, baby.
A quadruple, yes. Thank you so much for everybody that tuned in. Thank you, Jersey. Right? Thank you, Jersey, for being here. Shout out your channel before we go.
World of Football. I'm trying to change the way watch-alongs are done on YouTube with all high-tech gear and stuff. So if you want high-tech gear, watch-alongs of all the stats and all like TV, World of Football is my channel.
Yes. Thank you, Mike. Appreciate you being here. Rack, of course, congratulations. And guys, tomorrow, turn on your notification bell. 2:30 people, Nobbins and Tom, and stay on this stream. Don't go anywhere. We're going to Al Ahwa with Osam and the rest of the gang, of course. Don't go anywhere. Thank you, people, for tuning in. And hopefully we'll see you guys soon. And we're out of here.